This is part 3 of a quick series about the competencies of being a business analyst. Just to keep everything nice and consistent, I will use the same grouping used by the IIBA so that if you're studying for any certification, you don't get confused. For this video, I'm going to combine two competencies within analytical thinking, which are learning and problem solving for business analysis. It's important to remember that competencies are things that you have to become competent at, so you should train these skills by reading up on them, practicing them, and keeping them sharp. First up is learning. This one's pretty straightforward, and I'm not sure why it isn't listed as number 1 by the BA body of knowledge, since everything kind of relies on this. For this one, the best thing you can do for yourself is to understand how you learn and also understand the best ways to actually learn things. Whether it's learning how an application works by observing someone use it to do their job, learning a new business domain by creating a context diagram, or learning a business flow by modeling it in a process diagram, these techniques are intended to speed up learning, not just for your stakeholders, but for you. One exercise you might try is taking something complex and hard to understand and breaking it down and rewording it or reorganizing the information to make it easier for you to understand. In past trainings, I've recommended people rewrite the Declaration of Independence with plain English and bullet points. The way you'd have to think through everything to do this effectively will leave you with a pretty strong understanding of its content. Same for really anything that comes across your path in the BA world. Next up is problem solving. Critical here is being able to actually define problems. This involves digging to find root causes, validating assumptions with real data, and ensuring whatever you come up with actually does solve the problem. Your ability to learn the domain will be extremely important. The key here is not being an order taker when someone says, I'm having this problem, so I want you to build this feature, and actually digging in to find and understand the problem. A simple example might be a director saying, people keep leaving a certain field blank when they're creating an order, so make it mandatory. By taking the time to understand why people are leaving it blank, you may discover it's because they don't understand how to obtain the right information to fill that field in correctly. So rather than just making it mandatory, which might lead to people just populating the field with a bunch of junk data, you make a solution that allows for the right information to be available to populate the field correctly. This way you're fixing the problem, not just creating new ones. I hope that was helpful. Stay tuned for the next parts in the series. As always, if you have additional questions, ask them in the comments and I will either respond to you there or create a new video to answer your questions. So subscribe to see those questions get answered.